station on Space to Ground.
That view speaks for itself. Welcome to Space to Ground. I'm Dan Hewitt. Another week, another spacewalk for the crew of Expedition 50. This week saw NASA astronauts Shane Kimbrough and Peggy Whitson working together for several hours in the vacuum of space. They successfully swapped in an upgraded computer relay box, which gives mission control access and data from a bunch of systems on the outside part of station. They removed a cover and plugged in cables on pressurized mating adapter 3, which was just moved over the weekend and will be a future docking port for commercial cruise spacecraft. And they installed shielding for the now empty port on Node 3 and some shielding on PMA 3. And with this being Whitson's 8th spacewalk, she now holds the record for most spacewalks by a female astronaut. Even with another spacewalk, the crew found the time for some advanced space science. Peggy Whitson set up hardware for the ACE-T1 experiment, which is investigating colloids, or tiny suspended particles. The particular particles used in this experiment are referred to as Janus particles, named after the two-faced Roman god Janus, because these particles possess two distinct types of properties. One half of their surface interacts with water, while the other half repels it. Studying these in space helps scientists understand their fundamental behavior, which could lead to a method of creating self-assembling or self-replicating materials. Our Twitter question this week comes from Austin, who wants to know if the astronauts' ears pop on spacewalks because of the lower pressure in the suit. Excellent question, Austin. The answer is yes for some, but we do a lot to make sure the pressure changes aren't too hard on the crew. The pressure on station is about 14.7 psi, the exact same as at sea level here on Earth. In a suit, it's only 4.3, which makes it easier for the astronauts to move around while working in the vacuum of space. They do light exercise after getting suited up to remove extra nitrogen from their blood, which helps them avoid decompression sickness, or the bends, as any scuba divers might call it. At the end of the spacewalk, they gradually raise the pressure inside the airlock to avoid things like popping ears, but it can happen. Keep sending your questions using the hashtag #SpaceToGround. We'll see you next week.
Subscribe for more space.